interesting press conference from Mikey Moore. I mean, these guys' words at 18 years of age, just won Young Player of the Year, by the way, shows he's got really strong head on his shoulders, Mikey Moore. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, he's really kind of laying down the law and questioning the mentality of Rangers, and a few snippets in there from Spurs. So let's go through Mikey Moore's quotes in his press conference. I thought it was really interesting stuff. So first and foremost, he was talking about Tottenham, and he was about saying, for me now, there's a new manager there at Spurs at the minute, and obviously I'm a Spurs player, so we'll have to see what he says about me and what he wants me to do, what the people around me want to do. But I think that's all I can say at the moment. I'm going back there, and we'll see what the new people in the building, and from there I'll make a decision. And you got to feel a bit for Mikey Moore in that sense, because when he went on loan last season, Ange was his manager, and he came back to Thomas Frank. Now Thomas Frank, who was his manager, he's come back to Roberto De Zerbi. I mean, every time he goes out on loan, he comes back to a new management staff that's probably going to have new plans for him.
Yeah, 100%. But I think he'll be happy now that he's got a manager who's known for getting more out of attacking players. Also, I think younger players in the forward line have done all right under him. So I think he should be excited about the prospect of De Zerbi.
Yeah, I do agree. But obviously, it's just a new, fresh set of eyes that he's got to prove himself all over again, kind of thing, which I'm sure he will.
Yeah, well, he's done himself no harm with his loan spell, has he?
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about his loan spell at Rangers, he says, no matter what happens now, the club's been a huge part of what I'm going to become, and it's helped me so much. So for me, no matter what happens, I'm a fan of this club for the rest of my life now. So it's been a special experience. I think mentally, I've changed so much as a person. The way I look at stuff now, I think I've realised that every day means something. So before, maybe I have days where I switched off, I'd come into training, I'm kind of not so much on it as much as I need to be. But if you want to go and win every single game, that's where we need to be. I think as a team, we need to learn that as well. So we need to realise that every day means something. It's a chance to improve. So for me, that's been the biggest learning point for me. And I think for me, I mean, that shows like a change in his maybe mentality where he's got a different outlook of something before he joined to after he's joined as well.
Yeah, which is great. And he's a young player. He's obviously going to learn these things along the way. And I think being in a club like Rangers, where the mentality is, you have to challenge for the title every single year. So you have to basically win every game, and every loss is a disaster. That definitely does change your it changes your perception of things. And we saw with even when Harry Kane said it, when he moved to Bayern, he goes at Tottenham, you lose 1 week, it's not the biggest deal, and it's not, and at Bayern, if you lose, it's a disaster, and you have to be kind of on it every single game. Not to say Kane wasn't on it at Tottenham, I'm just saying he talks about that difference in perception. And clearly Mikey Moore is seeing that at Rangers, and that's going to make him a better player, because it just means every game he has to be on it. He has to keep improving himself to get those little edges and little advantages. And clearly he's been doing that, because when he first got there, he was in and out of the team. He wasn't really getting picked. He wasn't performing so well. And then something changed, and obviously the manager changed, and he's been much more consistent ever since.
It was put to Mikey Moore that Rangers have never questioned his mentality, and that's pleased him. He says, yes, 100%. I think that's what you need. You need people to think of you, that you're going out there and giving your all. I've had many days this year where I've not been good enough. I've not showed enough. But I think I've shown that I'm always trying, and I'll always give my all. So it's nice to have that respect. Obviously, the gutting thing is that we don't have that as a team to really make your mark. I think people remember winning titles, not just individuals. So that's just a disappointing thing for me. He's also said that he had plenty to say on Rangers themselves, and he says, for me, there's no digging out players. Personally, I think as a squad there needs to be a lot more driving each other to be better. There are top people in this group, but we need to have each other's back, and when it gets tough, I don't think we've done that enough. I think in tough moments this year, we haven't had each other's back, and we haven't got together as a team and really said, right, we're going to stick together. We're going to get through it. We need to just grab the game, and when it's tough, a few more. We need to have big personalities and go for the game. I can't put it down to much on other people. I don't think the boys have gone out their way to do it. I just think as a team, we need to help each other more. When the going gets tough, We need to get behind each other and not get on each other's back. I think as a collective, to have a winning culture, you need to have those standards. It's hard to put it down to one thing. For me, when it got tough, we just need to stick together more. I think that's the main thing for us. When we're probably going well in a game, everyone's probably full of confidence. But when it gets tough, we really need to show real personality. I mean, like,
Wow.
digging out some of his teammates there, or maybe the squad as a collective, really.
Well, he
Mikey
said
Moore.
not digging out players.
But he kind of was, though. He's not, but he is. Like, at 18 years of age, being a lone player as well, to stay stuff like that, I think it's quite massive.
Yeah, surprising. Definitely a player of who's a teenager, who's a lone player in the squad. You would think maybe he kind of is a quiet lad, or he doesn't want to, make too many sweeping judgments on the dressing room because he's just learning the game himself. But clearly, he's looked at the situation, thinks there's something wrong, and he's calling it out. Maybe, obviously, it's like not parting shot, but kind of like, I'm leaving. I'm probably not going to be here next season. So this is what I really think, and you've got to sort this out for next season if you're actually going to challenge Celtic and now even Hearts for the title next season. Those are things you need to change, and maybe he's doing it for the good of the dressing room, for the good of the club, to try and give them some home truths before he leaves. Surprisingly, he did it in a press conference, but it also goes to show kind of what he's learned throughout his career. And I mean, I'd hate to think what he thinks of the Tottenham dressing room when he says that kind of stuff, but it's very like kind of mature way of looking at things when he's talking about, it's all well and good when you're full of confidence and everyone's together and everyone's happy because you're winning. But when you're not winning, that's when you really find out about yourself. That's when you learn things about yourself and you learn things about the team. And that's what he's learned. When things are not going well, we don't kind of stand up. We don't stick together. Maybe people are blaming each other. Maybe people are moaning about things. Maybe people are maybe people are not calling each other out more. I don't know what exactly the situation is, but he's clearly identified that when things are not going well, we haven't done enough to stick together as a team. And for him to have identified that as a young player, I think goes to show what he's learned and what he'll be looking out for in other dressing rooms. And that's something as well I think will serve him in good stead down the line when he's in dressing rooms that aren't doing well. And he'll be like, look, I was at Rangers and we didn't sit together. We need to not do that. We need to come together now. And I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it might have been something that he learned, in lead up to the Europa League final, because obviously he was in and around it. And the key thing from that is that the Spurs players did seem to stick together all the way through the bad times until the very end. And maybe he's looking at that situation and then going into the Rangers situation and he sees a lot of differences. And he was talking about maybe when things were going bad, Rangers players were just digging out each other instead of actually sticking together. So he might be looking at the differences there and being like, well, this is actually not helping things. We need to stick together and then we get through it.
Yeah, fair comment.
But, with Mikey Moore, I think this loan spell of him being a main man at a good club at Rangers, fighting for big things in Scotland, this was going to do him the world of good, isn't it? Not only to mature, but to get better as a player as well. I look at him and I watch him play, and I still think he needs more development. I'm not sure if he's completely ready to come into the Premier League just yet. So maybe another loan spell, but that's up to De Zerbi to decide in pre-season. But you can definitely see his mentality growing. You can see him growing as a player. And you've got to remember, he's only 18 years of age. He's still so young. And to have that season going into the Europa League final, playing a big part in the group stages in the Europa League and stuff like that, and then off the back of that, Young Player of the Year in Scotland, big player for Rangers. This guy's got a big future ahead of him.
Yeah, he's so exciting. And whenever I've been watching some Rangers this season and some highlights, and he just seems to be a cut above the rest. And he's such an exciting talent, and I'm sure De Zerbi will love him. I agree. I don't think he's quite ready to be starting games in the Premier League. I think we saw that when he was in the Premier League at Tottenham, and I think in Scotland, obviously he's grown a lot. I think he's probably more suited at the moment this point in his career to being like an impact sub, coming off the bench if he's going to be hanging around. I think him starting games when he's up against fresh legs and very strong and physical defenders, I think he would struggle. But potentially, I think he could make an impact off the bench. And when the game's a bit stretched or tiring legs, I think when there's space, he could potentially be a good solution. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do keep him around. But I think one more year on loan at a higher level probably is what's in order, playing consistently. That's probably what's best.
Completely agree. But you know what? You never know what can happen. And if he comes back to pre-season and, De Zerbi takes a real liking to him, you never know. He could be part of the first team next season. But that's that on Mikey Moore. It's a brilliant loan spell for him. Definitely excited to see what the future holds for him. I've been a big fan for a couple of years now, Mikey Moore. So very much excited